Hello again. So today we are going to look at the quadratic function, and we are going to look at the applications of the quadratic function. So I want you to make sure that before you start this, you will watch the 2 out of the 3 YouTube videos that I posted in the assignment. Make sure you do write me a 3 to 5 sentences reflection. I want you to tell me, what did you learn? How does this relate to the quadratic function? Well, tell me something. Tell me something that you think that is going to be important. This is going to be an assignment. I am not going to do all of it, but I want to make sure that I will put you on the right path. So notice that we have the pumpkin and it's launched from the platform on a field. And again, you just saw this in your videos. What is going to happen is this is going to happen, I think. And that path is described using this equation. So h of t, notice this is a function notation, is described with the equation that is negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 64. And I want you to notice the most important thing here. What kind of equation is that? Because we do have t squared, that is a quadratic equation, and this is what we've been talking about for a long time now. So your first task is to complete the table, and to notice that the only thing that this table is asking you is to plug in whatever number it is, and notice this is t. T indicates the, well, you guessed it, right? The time, and the h is the height. So what we are checking is, as the time goes by, how is the height changing? So let's see. I will do a few of them and then you will do the rest of them. If I want to figure out what happens at the t is equal to 0, I am going to use the function notation. Maybe some of you will remember it from Algebra 1, Volume 1. Well, we did this in Volume 2, I think, as well. So h of 0 is equal to negative 16. In place of t everywhere, I am going to plug in the 0, plus 64 times 0 plus 64. So notice, well, I forgot about the square right in here. So notice that the 0 I put everywhere in place of the t in my equation. This one, again, I chose the easy one because 0 squared is 0 times anything that's 0. This is 0, so this is 64. So when we are starting, so at the time is equal to 0, the height is equivalent to 64. Again, if you already watched the 2 out of 3 videos, you should know exactly what we are talking about. Let's see, I will do one more. Well, now I'm going to choose the most difficult one. I am going to check what happens at 6. So h of 6 is equal to, and that means that 6 seconds after, and I'm looking for the height, negative 16 times 6 squared plus 64 times 6 plus 64. Use any calculator that you have. You can use it on your phone. Well, I am lucky enough, I let myself use one of the school's calculator. So I can, because it is a graphing calculator and I know it will do the order of operation for me, I can input the expression exactly the way it is. Well, 6 squared is 36 plus 64 times 6 plus 64. Let me see if I did this correctly. Negative 16 times 6 squared is 36 plus 64 times 6 plus 64. Let's see what my value is. Negative 128. Negative 128. So this is negative 128. When you are analyzing this problem, you are going to tell me what that can potentially means. Notice this is a height. I am getting a negative number. You will see, you will be asked for the domain, you will be asked for the range and all that stuff. So make sure you think about this. not only as a quadratic function, but also what it can possibly mean in a real life. Again, I've already mentioned this many times. What does t represent in this particular situation? What does h of t represent, again, in this particular situation? I want you to think about this. I want you to think what is the domain and the range of this situation and explain it using the context of the problem. So it needs to make sense, okay? So think about this for a second. On the next page, you are asked to find the vertex. And remember that to find the vertex, this is your favorite formula by now, I hope. X is equal to negative b over 2a. Again, it might be a good idea to use a calculator for this because the numbers may get a little bit tricky. So whatever you get, you will put in here, and then you will plug that number into your original equation, and then you will get your y value. And the y value you need for the vertex as well. You will think of the axis of symmetry, and then next you are going to create a path. Make sure that if you are graphing this on a paper, make sure you are going to use some straight edge and you are going to make a nicest graph ever, okay? Think about the y-intercept and what the y-intercept represents in this particular problem. What does the x-intercept represent in this particular problem? And what is the maximum height of the pumpkin? You should be able to answer all those questions. If you need any help, please see me during my office hours tomorrow, all right? And otherwise, enjoy your day.